Good morning. This is Milton Riggleman, Center 2017. Actually, that's when I became honorary alumnus. I graduated earlier from another institution. It's my unalloyed pleasure this morning to introduce in our renovated Craig House, not only President Milton Moreland, the 21st president of Center College, but his lovely wife, Dina Moreland. How are you, Morelands?
Good. Excellent. Good to see you. We got up and just started our coffee, and hope everybody who's joining has a little cup with us, and good to spend the morning with you.
Well, it's really exciting to see you finally in your new digs. You've been, sent out, exiled to the hinterlands in the Humphrey House. And I know that with that tiny backyard there, that postage stamp backyard, you wanted a bigger yard. You wanted to get more land. The Morelands for more land, right?
That's the last name says it all, Milton. It's all that we strive for in life is more land. So we're glad to have a big backyard.
As you know, literature is more accurate and helpful than history, which is mere accident. And there's a number of great novels written about houses, okay? A House of Mirth, House on the Little Prairie, a Little House, blah, 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 blah. But the interesting thing in almost all of those things, let's take Howard's Inn by Forrester, or the Mansion by Faulkner. Then most houses in fiction, the reigning spirit of the house, the aura of the house is never the male. It's always the female, okay? Always the female. And so that gets us to Mrs. Moreland. How does it feel, Dina, to suddenly be in a house that you can turn around in and have a backyard? How does it feel? You've just been in, what, a couple weeks now?
Yeah, it's glorious.
This
is a beautiful, beautiful old house. And every day I discover something else absolutely lovely, some new detail, and
now you're
delightful little nook.
Are you massaging your legs and knee? I see the arms. Is there somebody else in this picture? What do we got?
There he is. There he is.
Oh, now who is this? Introduce it.
Go ahead.
This is our rescue dog, Blue, like the color blue. And when I was teaching kindergarten, it just blew the minds of my babies because I kept telling my kiddos about my dog Blue. And then I finally showed them a picture and they're like, what? He's brown. And they're so upset with me.
Now you say in your kindergarten, okay.
Yes.
Now tell us about this kindergarten. In fact, tell us, we know a whole lot about your husband, but we don't know much about you. Can you tell us, I know you were born at an early age, but where were you born? Tell us something about yourself, Dina.
I was born in central Indiana and grew up in the cornfields and the woods, in farmland, and just outside a little town called Chesterfield. And we were so proud of our Dairy Queen. So we actually had a Dairy Queen, and it was the highlight of the week when you got to go.
And what about your upbringing? Did you, for instance, someone told me that you had some goats. Is this true?
Yes. We had kind of a small farm, and my responsibility was to take care of the goats. We actually had around 2022 a summer, and it was my job to milk the goats in the morning before school And in the afternoon, when I got off the bus, I had to change clothes and go feed the goats and milk the goats. And we drank goat's milk and sold goat's milk, and makes the best ice cream you have ever dreamed of.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Now, I know that Milton was born in Idaho, right?
Correct?
Amazing about it.
Idaho and central Indiana. How did you two get together?
We got
This is
lucky
before, this is before dating apps. Remember that.
through that. Through
And
that.
the internet.
No internet back in the 80s when we were coming along, but no, it's funny because one of the things that folks may know about Dina was that she was a national racquetball champion and played professional racquetball for a good long while. But that actually brought her to the University of Memphis, where my dad was campus minister and I started school. We met in the first week thanks to some mutual friends, and
I've been following them ever since.
we've been together ever since. So that was just a couple years ago, I guess about 37 now. So
Well,
amazing how time flies.
how does it feel, Milton, to be married to a national racquetball champ? I mean, doesn't that make you feel insignificant?
It does. It does. I'm nothing. I am,
Gosh.
no, it's fun to see both of our careers, kind of come together and also be supportive of each other. She was supportive of me by always humbling me. So the famous story, which is actually true, which is that we played racquetball together for 25 or 30 years. We have recently put the rackets down because the ligaments aren't working as well as they used to. But yeah, I never beat her. So there, I'll tell you.
You tried when I was 9 months pregnant too.
Oh, really? Speaking of that, I see not only blue, but who is that on the mantle? Would that be a result of a pregnancy?
That's one way to put it.
Well, tell us about those young men.
We do have two sons, and Micah, who is recently graduated and started working for a firm recently during COVID and working from home there in Memphis, and Marcus, who also had a job change during COVID, went to work for a different firm, but got married last month. It's been 5 weeks. And so we had a COVID wedding in back where they live in Memphis, and pretty wild, but we had a very small but very beautiful ceremony on January 2nd. So that was lovely. And Caroline Sabatini Moreland is our new daughter-in-law. So we're really happy and can't wait for them to be able to come and visit sometime soon.
I hope. Well, tell us about a COVID wedding. What's that like? I mean, can people attend a COVID wedding, and what do they eat and stuff like that?
Well, it was much smaller, as you might imagine, than originally planned, but they did have some close friends and family in, and they put on a beautiful small wedding out in a little country farm area that had beautiful setting. And we were fortunate that, folks came that were able, and everyone's wearing masks and trying to social distance even in the middle of a great ceremony, and just a lot of fun. I must say they had an incredible band play, and so there was a little exercising going on, shall we say, after the ceremony. There was.
Well, I see on the screen one of the Edmonston girls. Hi, Wilma. And when they were growing up, or particularly their parents, Craig House had a very different look. Not the look of your mantle that I see there, which is classic. It had a Victorian look. And since Victoria only reigned for what, 64 years or something, she's ephemeral. It now has the look of something much more solid, of the Parthenon, 5th century before the Common Era. Why do you think that in early 1900s, maybe 1900, the original owner, Mr. Welsh, for whom our male valedictorian award is named, why do you think he ripped off that bric-a-brac Victorian stuff and put that solid sort of Parthenon porch on? What do you think went on there, Milton or Nina?
It is interesting to live in a house that's, 170 years old and think about different styles that people had over almost 200 years. I like to think of that shift. So this house built in 1853 by William I. Moore, made out of brick, solid brick. Every wall in this place is brick, including all the interior walls covered with horsehair plaster. So, but the floorboards and all of the wood structure is solid hardwood, oak, and other hardwoods from this area that Mr. Moore cut from his farm, according to the story, just outside of Danville. So very local made. But I like to think that when the Welshes lived here, and they did for several generations, that they just updated the house in ways that were common at the time. So from that Italianate style, which you can still see the vestiges of, because that's the heart and soul of the house, and these huge windows are part of that. These windows are 9 feet tall. The ceilings are about 16 to 18 feet tall. The outside with these beautiful columned porches and so forth, and more of the neoclassical, I think was a nice upgrade, as they probably the second generation of Welshes lived here, and they're like, I think we're going to do something a little bit different. But that Welsh Wiseman heritage, which related to the old department store in downtown Danville, is really cool. And of course, the college has owned the house for a long time, thanks to a gift from Mr. Craig. But the heritage back with the Welsh and Wiseman family, both, somebody wants to get down. Both, I think they were cousins essentially to each other, connected back to the Welshes. And that heritage is really something special, I think, for the college. Those families were dedicated to Center College. And it's really interesting to read the history of the folks who lived here and how much they gave to the college and their amazing philanthropy through their years.
Well, Henry Craig, who gave the money that the college used to buy it, was the staunch Scotch-Irish Presbyterian. Probably his ancestors came through the sister city of Danville, Carrickfergus. But he was the superintendent of the cemetery in Frankfurt, as his father had been. And he thought that since he was a superintendent, he had a whole lot of people under him who never listened to him. It would be really appropriate to have the center president live in that house. Do you ever feel like that? You got all kinds of people under you, but do they listen? Do they care?
Milton, the cemetery analogy that you're playing with is just far from my mind. I don't think that people don't listen to me. They listen, they just don't care. Okay? So it's all good. I know my place. I talk a lot. I walk in, and others on the call from Center know this. I'll shoot an email with 3 ideas on a Saturday morning, my Saturday morning musings, and I think people will chuckle and think, yeah, maybe, but we'll think about that. But it's a great community here, and people really working hard to figure out how to do well and prosper during this pandemic. So I will say nothing bad about my colleagues, about the students, and all of the friends we've made at Center College. So it's not a cemetery here, Milton, not a cemetery at all.
And good. But there are a number of your colleagues and townspeople, though, who have great sympathy for the Moorlands to come here in the height of the pandemic when nothing is going on. And so, I worry about Dina. There's no music, there's no racquetball, even though the room you're in could easily be converted with those 20-foot ceilings. People, and really, we're so anxious that this ends so you can see what Danville and Center is about. So you have a lot of sympathy. Use it well. Use it well. You need it.
Well, I think that we're all going through this together, and it is special to come into Danville even during the pandemic.
You're right.
Dave and I both have different stories of how generous this community has been, but it has not been hard on us, frankly. It's an incredibly supportive community, and of course, Center College, but Danville in general is just a wonderful place to live, and a great place to walk a dog, frankly, which is something Dina enjoys doing around town.
Well, Dina, I also pick up things in town, and tell us about the Gladys Project. Aren't you involved in that?
Yes, I'm on the board of that project, and I have been busy with that, actually, tutoring 3 and 4-year-olds to get them learning ready for kindergarten. And so we are just trying to help them, set them up for success. And when they have success in kindergarten, they're gonna have success in 1st grade, 2nd grade, and snowball on through till they get to Center College. So having a ball with the little ones, and the people at the Gladys Project are fantastic, and they are doing such good work here in the community.
And you can tell them if they succeed in the way you expect and hope and think, and they can't get admitted to Center, they can always go to Rhodes.
Good point. Good point. Yeah.
That does get us to Memphis, where you came from. Tell us about your house in Memphis, where you moved from, and then we'll do some comparisons.
Sure. Well, we had actually fairly recently, as both of our boys graduated from college, and we were kind of thinking about where do we want to land. We bought a small farm, what we call our fig farm outside of Memphis, and so we have hundreds of fig trees and blueberries and blackberries, goji berries, elderberries. What do you need? We got it. But no, our son lives there and is happy to have a nice little place. But that's been fun to make that move. Of course, now we made the move to Craig House, and after the wedding last month, we drove a truck back with us and facilities, and folks here at Center were very generous to unload that thing. And so the upstairs of Craig House is 3 bedrooms. We've set up an art studio, 4 bathrooms up there, and a family room. So we, in the evenings have a very comfortable place to go. And some of our furniture up there and lots of pictures and a lot of books, frankly. But yeah, that the place back in Memphis is a place that we enjoy, knowing that our son is there and having a great time living the high life at our old house.
Tell us about this art studio. What's that about? Is there a ceramicist among you, or painter, or what? I'm looking at Dina.
Yeah, I feel a little funny calling it an art studio because I'm not that good, but I enjoy it. It brings me a lot of joy. And I call it the art room, which is a bit of a stretch. But what is really cool is downstairs in Craig House is going to be an art gallery for all of the center professors and young students to display their art on the walls. And we have some really cool cabinets in the kitchen that are glass with lights in them. So some of those ceramicists and bronze sculptures are going to be displayed and enjoyed downstairs. That's the real art room.
Well, I hope you display at least something by you, and if you're too modest, just put another name on, like Cezanne or something. Get it past. Now,
Right.
speaking of,
I do like Dina's art a great deal, and I think Milton, in fact, she was in a little art drawing class with you with the Grass Art Center, which was really cool. You're both doing a little art, it feels like.
She is the valedictorian of that art class, I'll tell you that. Now, I'm looking at a piano that I think was given to the college by Nancy Alcock. How to put that? One of the delightful Danville eccentrics. She taught piano to many students, and that was a prize. But it looks like there is some space for other things. What about the downstairs furniture? Basically, I think belongs to the college with some of the pieces, perhaps.
Some of the pieces are original to the house and still in beautiful condition. We also working with Ann Smith here and Scott Messer in facilities, incredible people who drove the project here and helped design some of the small changes that we made to the house. But they are in the process of getting a lot of that antique furniture refinished. And so the house looks a little bare right now, and you'll see that in the video. But just waiting for some of the furniture to come back in. During COVID, you might have noticed things slow a little bit down. But we did get some of these chairs refinished already, and the dining room set and all reupholstered and beautiful. So we can't wait to have people in here. Certainly looking forward to using the house a lot to host alumni, friends, student groups, faculty and staff. So as soon as we get COVID taken care of and some furniture back in here, this is going to be a lively space. But that piano is beautiful, and there was also a gift to the Craig House while the Roushes were here. And there's a little bit of a opportunity for the piano to play itself. It has a player, automated player component to it. So it's a beautiful Steinway, and I love the story about it being actually a great Danville treasure.
Mm-hmm.
So it sits now in the room as you come in to the left, and will be prominently displayed. And I can imagine lots of us gathering around that Steinway to bring in some holidays and celebrate and just have some fun together.
What you're saying is that you look forward to having what the Irish called a lot of crack in Craig House. Craig is when you gather in a pub and good music and conversation and a bit of Guinness, to be sure. And it's a wonderful, congenial community time. That would be different than the way some students pronounce it. If you say, well, where does the president live? He said, oh, he lives in the crack house. The crack house. I said, no, 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 no.
No comment there, but
that
we will see the kitchen, which is beautiful, and because I like to bake cake, Milton, I sometimes nickname it the cake house. So we'll see how that plays out over time, but hopefully we can have some cake baking contests, because I also like to eat cake. And here in the cake house, I mean the Craig house.
Does Blue eat cake? Do you feed that dog?
Oh, yeah.
Blue has a seafood diet. He sees food and he eats it.
You know, there are a number of writers who know everything that really believe that a house is sentient. I'm thinking of Edgar Allan Poe here, as well as Forster. A house has feelings, and it communicates those feelings to the spirit of the house, which again would be Dina and not you. I'm sorry, Milton. Okay. And that it goes back and forth. Now, I should say that the house of Usher splits and falls into the Tarn. I don't want it to happen to Craig House or Cake House. But furniture, I mean, I think it works both ways. I think that a house communicates a certain spirit to whoever lives there. I would have said the same about the Morrells and the Spraggans, and the Adams and the Rouses, by the way. But I think also the people who live there communicate to the house. There's this odd symbiotic relationship. It's not that you will physically look like the house, but certain of your actions, you'll say, aha, they live in Craig House. So with that piano, I expect you to start singing, Milton, or, you know.
One thing that resonates with both of us, I think, is the beautiful light in this house because of these massive windows. I'll just point this camera real quick at the
good.
At that window.
Oh my.
Yeah, we're not talking about small little openings. These are larger than doorways.
Oh my.
Of course, that means that we've got incredible light in here. And I love being in a house that has a lot of light. It's not necessarily great for the camera on a Zoom video, but when you come in here, I think you'll enjoy just every room is full of windows. And we kind of, we like the style. It's a little bit different, I think, than some of the past presidents, but we like the style of not a lot of curtains, not a lot of window coverings, just let the light in. So that's one thing you'll see about us. Now, I don't know what that says about us, but I do think it's kind of fun to come in here, commune with the outside and the inside, kind of blending as one.
With those large, wide windows, is the house ADA okay? The doors and things?
It is. I think that was, you know, it has been ADA and continues to be, but we're also making some upgrades during this renovation to, we'd like to make it very accessible for folks and to host anyone who wants to come in from alumni groups and other groups. And so, yes, we want this house to be very accessible, great bathroom. The hallways and the doorways are very wide, and adding a ramp on the front here as we do some renovations on the outside, including a little bit of a back porch, covered porch area that we'll add later on as well. Just to, you know, open the house up and have lots of opportunities for folks to come in. So indeed, ADA was a big interest of ours at the colleges, and so happy to say that this will be a very accessible.
Have there been any major structural changes in the renovation? That is, I know that the bones are very good, brick and so forth, but inside, will it seem a lot of the folks listening have been in that house? I suspect everybody has. Every center student is in within days of coming and before they leave, and a number of times in between. Will it seem about like it was in terms of its layout, design, structure? Okay.
No, we knocked down all the brick walls inside Milton and cleaned it all out. So, because they're brick walls, you really can't do much with rearranging. But it was interesting when Wayne King and Brian Huxley and Scott Messer and Ann Smith first kind of showed us a view of the house, and the Roushes were always generous when we were here to bring us in, and we had dinner with them and got to see the house. And one of the things I noticed was that there was a bookshelf in one of the walls that looked like it was a built-in bookshelf. And so as you'll see in the video coming up, I asked Wayne, is that bookshelf original? And he said, no, when my dad was here, they enclosed the wall and separated what became the guest bedroom from what was known as the green room. And so as you'll see, we took the bookcase out and reopened that wall. And so now on the right-hand side as you enter, there's a glorious, huge space with the two rooms combined. Now, right now, unfortunately, there's not a lot of furniture in there, so it looks a little sparse, but it is kind of fun. Oh yeah, there you can see the bookcase where the piano was in the green room. And now look, and that bookcase is gone, although the beautiful molding around it has been completely reconstructed and salvaged. And many elements of the house are original, even if they are slightly different. By the way, the other fun thing about one of our little projects was when we were starting this project, Ann and Scott and others redoing the library at the same time. And that library project, I think we're going to go there for another coffee with the Miltons, but the library project is incredible. And the open floor plan over there now in Crounce is just impressive. But they took out the major cabinetry, which had beautiful granite countertops. And you will now see those countertops in the kitchen at Craig House. So they were able to bring those granite countertops over and use them here. And thanks to a great stone worker here in the Danville area, they were able to fit those to the countertops. So when we go in the kitchen here in a little bit, look for those countertops, which many of you who are center alums will recognize as, oh, those are the beautiful granite counters that tops that used to be in the library. So kind of fun to have that history, as well as that reopening of the green room and the and what used to be the guest bedroom. That to me is now a place where, I may have mentioned this already, I like to eat, I like to host people for food, and I could see us setting up for 50 or 60 people between those two rooms, being able to set up food on one side and then go in and sit together and have a really wonderful conversation, because that opens up now into a really nice open floor plan. So that was our one change, Milton.
by taking that bookcase out, so you can go from the green room into what was a guest bedroom, can you then go back into the, like, can you run a circle if you wanted to,
You can run a circle. It's what I do every morning for my exercise. I just run.
while you're putting on your center tie, you said every Saturday morning. Okay. Well, that'd be neat. So you won't feel trapped in one of those rooms. Okay.
Yeah, I think, many of us, when we go to a party, we're looking at, how do we get out of here, right? So you will never be trapped. You go in to the right, there's 2 exits. You go in to the left, there's 2 exits. So there's always a way to escape. If you see one of your old classmates and you're like, I'm out of here, there's a way to escape without any problem. But yeah, no, I think that was actually one of the funny comments that several people made is, I remember getting trapped in the back of that green room. I'm like, well, now you can just look out.
Man, yeah, the one person, the student that you flunked out, or oh, great. That's
surely you've never failed anyone, Milton, did you?
Gosh. And listen, when the library opens on Monday for the public, our library, okay?
Yeah.
And I guess I'm sure you know, but I'm not sure if some of our listeners do. In the library, where once if you snuck in a Coca-Cola, you could be executed. I mean, it was, when I came, man, it was horrible. It is so user-friendly that there's an Einstein bagel shop in the library. Isn't that true?
It's true. There's a new opening on the side that faces Young, the west side of the building. So you can also come in without going into the library.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Into the library, we're putting a Caribou coffee and a Einstein bagels. And it'll of course be incredible for the students and faculty and staff, but we hope alumni will come back and enjoy that. Libraries have definitely changed. And although we're not having students have open containers and so forth, closed containers in the library are now probably more apropos than they were 20, 30, 40 years ago. So it's still a big change for me. Whenever I go in the library, I'm like, no drinks, no food, but that'll be a cool little place. We're going to have some outdoor seating there between Krauts and Young, and we'll have indoor seating in the area right there as you come into the library to the right. So can't wait to show that off as we reopen campus. And Megan can tell us in future emails about upcoming Coffee with the Miltons, but I'm pretty sure that's on our schedule. There's so much to show off at Center College right now. The opening of Olin Hall, the reopening with that Milton Center for Math and Data Science and Computer Science and Physics getting all new spaces, Chemistry getting new spaces. So it's amazing. And I hope we get to go to the Hub building soon. Just speaking of other major capital projects that are going on during the pandemic, that 3rd floor, some of us saw the final plans for that yesterday, and that is going to be a fantastic space for our students and our community here to work together on lots of projects and entrepreneurial work in the future. So 3 big projects besides the Crank House opening up this month at Center College. So not stopping for the pandemic, taking it very seriously around here, but also our plan is to accelerate out of this, and our board has just been very generous in thinking with us about how to ensure that Center rises during the pandemic, and that we really make some headway. I'm a little competitive, I must say, and I see Center College as
apparently not on the racquetball court, though. Apparently,
yeah.
So it would really be worthwhile for an alum, no matter how far away, to come back for homecoming, wouldn't it? Next October.
Listen,
So
I hope that homecoming 2021 with the vaccine and the demise, at least hopefully mostly in demise phase of the pandemic, I hope this is the biggest set of homecoming events that the college ever has had. So yes, as we get near to that, I hope people are really planning to be here. And of course, that'll be a great opportunity to see the Craig House, but also all this other progress and lots of new projects to come as well. So stay tuned. Never a dull moment around here.
speaking of seeing the Craig House, I mean, I love the view we have of you and your boys in blue, but I understand that there's some video. We might get a little preview of the whole downstairs. Did we get that? Aha.
Craig House experienced its first renovation in 1958 and not again since 1982. Therefore, the college decided to make a few updates and enhancements to the space, enabling the Morelands to live their vision of using Craig House as a premier community building and event space on campus.
Welcome. Come on in.
The piano room, affectionately called the bird room because of the many hidden birds throughout the decor, is a lovely sitting area where intimate or collective conversations can take place. The dining room boasts original furniture and drapes with reupholstered seating and a beautiful antique rug removed from the current library renovation, which fit the space perfectly. This room hopes to see many alumni reunions, trustee dinners, and student receptions. Across the hall in the main open-flow entertaining space of the home, the built-in bookcase wall installed in 1982 was reopened to create one spacious room where there will be ample seating for group gatherings and plenty of floor space to bring in tables and chairs for larger sit-down receptions. Down the grand foyer hall, the beautiful brick room leading to the large patio will host plenty of student and faculty groups to brainstorm new ideas, discuss current events, or watch a big game in comfortable seating while grilling and outdoor entertaining is within close reach. Just around the corner from the brick room, you will find two newly refreshed restrooms, including ADA accessibility. The Craig House lawn will continue to be a highlight for outdoor event space in beautiful weather or tinted when necessary. The heart of the home resides in the masterfully updated kitchen. 1800s meets modern function with an island size to host a small gathering or plenty of space to lay out a spread for a splendid catered event. Original brick was exposed along the north wall for the gas fireplace. The stunning granite was repurposed from the former circulation desk in the library and is over 15 years old. Finally, the walls, ledges, and well-lit cabinets of the home will soon tell the stories of many hours of creativity and craftsmanship when they are adorned with both faculty and student art pieces. Thank you for joining us for a quick tour around Craig House. The Morelands excitedly look forward to hosting you in the home very soon.
Wow. I can't wait to be
It was a little different, but it's still got the same good structure and the same good bones, and hope that everybody enjoys it as you come back to campus. It is really an amazing job that the college did, and the college can be proud of this house. Dean and I are proud to occupy it for a little while, but this renovation puts the Craig House in great shape for many presidents to come. So that's a beautiful thing. and a tribute to the college, kind of looking forward and investing in this house to make it a great place for lots of events and opportunities in the future. So thank you to the college and to all the alumni who have already helped us out by giving to help this renovation project. As you know, we do things around here because of the generosity of our alumni and friends of the college. And this has been a great project to see that. I would like just to mention one of our very generous board members, Jeff Mackin, who put a challenge gift out for the Craig House and has made a very generous gift to the college to help this, but also would like to challenge other alumni to step up. So if you're interested in having an opportunity to give to the future of the college through this President's House renovation, there's lots of other projects, lots of other good work going on here, but that's one of the philanthropic opportunities that Kelly and her team are working on. We don't want any of these projects to be a long-term burden to the college. We want them to be opportunities for the college to thrive and be the best place for higher learning in this region. And happy to see so many great projects happening right now.
Well, this has been a wonderful way to spend early Saturday morning. I'll look forward to doing it again. Is there anything else? What you said is there still is opportunity to give to the college. That's a revelation. So I'll take that under advisement. Is there anything else that Dina or Milton you would like to say before we go back to bed?
Well, you know, one of my Saturday morning musings, and since it's Saturday morning, I might throw it out to the alumni who are on the call, but I was sitting in this kitchen. We had our board meeting last weekend, and so I got up and got my makeup on and everything, of course, and I was sitting, you know, eating my delightful breakfast, which was probably a piece of cold pizza. And I thought, this looks like a kitchen that could host a cooking show, or having some students or alumni or others come in and with their favorite recipe and bake something. And maybe we have that in different types of segments. So there could be, you know, just a 5-minute online video of Milton baking his famous carrot cake, which is pretty much the only thing I'm known for in the culinary world. But having some chefs come in and others, but it's just such a beautiful place. And I don't know if you noticed the size of this bar, but it is, I think it might be in the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest bar in a private kitchen. But it is fantastic. We've got a couple ovens back here, nice space to think about filming some folks, you know, entertaining and having some fun for alumni, current students, faculty, and staff to come in. So if you have a recipe and you want to show it off, get in touch with Megan, because I'd love to have you come in and film that. I will say that we had a nice little treat last night. Beth Leahy brought over a Derby pie, and it got me thinking that it'd be fun to have a Derby pie contest for any of you who are in the Derby pie making business. But
I'll taste.
We got a taster here. Anyway, it'd be fun to do some Central Kentucky cooking, as well as, you know, some fun So that's a taste of Milton's Saturday morning musings, but I would love to think with folks around what would be fun to see coming out of Center College, and how can we continue to demonstrate this amazing community. But eating food together is going to be a big part of the future of Craig House, and can't wait to host the 60-year and the 50-year and the 40-year class reunions, and others coming through the house. We're looking forward to having sports teams and alumni from different athletic groups come through. We've got some big plans with athletics at Center College, and you'll be hearing more about that in the coming months. But we want to highlight the fact that we have incredible scholar athletes here and a rich tradition of that. So looking forward to that, and just looking forward to having faculty and staff be able to come back together, eat together, fellowship together, enjoy time together, because that's what makes the Center College campus and community. That's what makes us a family here. So looking forward to being able to engender more of that, and use the Craig House as part of that story, as well as the beautiful campus. Can't wait for us to be back together. It is really cool to see you on the screen, all of you joining. So thanks for taking a little bit of time this morning. And don't hesitate to reach out if you've got thoughts, ideas. We love to be in touch with our center family. And regardless of where you're at, we hope you have an opportunity to come back to campus when the pandemic recedes. I know a lot of us are anxious to get those vaccines, and I've heard from many of you that you've already gotten it. So that's terrific. And it feels like some light at the end of the tunnel. Milton, do you have any thoughts about Craig House? What was one of the fun things that you did while here in the Craig House yourself?
Well, there have been a lot of important people who've come through there. I'm thinking of Sandra Day O'Connor and President Carter and others. But you just said there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And what I'll leave you with is light at the end of the tunnel for Danville is at Craig House. We all look forward to the end of this pandemic and the light, and to seeing and being with the Morelands with their new house. Thanks for joining us this Saturday, and shalom.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Be safe.